if you are in the market for a new career. You may be curious about a freight broker's salary. After all, this is a fast-paced and exciting industry that offers plenty of growth opportunities. So, how much can you expect to make as a freight broker? And what are the other benefits of this job? Keep reading to find out. What is a freight broker? And what do they do? A freight broker is a business professional who acts as a middleman between companies that need to transport goods and the carriers that transport those goods. Freight brokers help companies save time and money by finding the best possible shipping options and negotiating rates on their behalf. There are two main types of freight brokers: load brokers and truck brokers. Load brokers find carriers to transport cargo, while truck brokers find loads for carriers to transport. Each type of broker typically specializes in one type of transportation, such as air freight or maritime shipping. Most freight brokers have a bachelor's degree, although some jobs may only require a high school diploma. Many freight brokers also have previous experience working in the logistics or transportation industry. In addition, freight brokers must obtain a license from the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration. How much does a freight broker make? The average freight broker salary is $55,808 per year, although salaries can range from $35,000 to over $100,000 per year, depending on experience and commission rates. In addition to their base salary, freight brokers may also receive commission-based pay. This means that they earn a percentage of the total amount charged for each shipment they broker. For example, if a freight broker arranges for a shipment that costs $1,000 to be transported, they may earn a 5% commission or $50, in addition to a competitive salary and commission-based pay. Freight brokers also enjoy many other job-related benefits. These can include paid vacations and holidays, health insurance, and a 401 or other retirement plans. Freight brokers also have the opportunity to advance their careers by becoming managers or directors of logistics companies. With experience, freight brokers can also start their brokerage firms. Therefore, if you are looking for a challenging and rewarding career with plenty of upside potential, consider becoming a freight broker. What are the benefits of being a freight broker? There are many benefits to being a freight broker, including the ability to work from home, flexible hours, and the potential to earn a high income. In addition, freight brokers typically have a good working knowledge of the transportation industry, which can be beneficial in other career paths as well. There are some drawbacks to being a freight broker, such as long hours and the need to be available 24/7 in case of emergencies. In addition, freight brokers must deal with the hassle of finding loads and negotiating rates, which can be time-consuming and stressful. Finally, there is always the possibility that a carrier may not uphold their end of the bargain, which can lead to financial losses for the broker. Becoming a freight broker can be a great way to earn a good income while enjoying the flexibility of working from home. However, it is important to weigh both the pros and cons before making a decision. If you are organized, detail-oriented, and good at negotiating, becoming a freight broker may be the right career choice. How to become a freight broker? Becoming a freight broker requires passing an exam and undergoing training. In addition, brokers must be licensed by the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration. To become a freight broker, you will need to have a strong understanding of the transportation industry and excellent communication and negotiation skills. Finally, it is important to be organized and detail-oriented in order to succeed in this career. These are the steps you'll need to take if you want to become a freight broker. Get training from an accredited program. Pass the federal exam for freight brokers. Obtain a surety bond or trust fund agreement. Register with the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration. Apply for a broker authority. Start finding loads and shipping freight. Who should become a freight broker? Anyone who is interested in the transportation or supply chain industry and has strong communication and negotiation skills may want to consider becoming a freight broker. In addition, it is important to be organized and detail-oriented in order to succeed in this career. Although freight brokers typically work long hours, the job can be very rewarding. A person who is interested in the logistics or transportation industry may want to consider becoming a freight broker. In addition, freight brokers must obtain a license from the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration. To become a freight broker, you must be at least 18 years old and have a high school diploma or equivalent. In addition, you must pass an examination administered by the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration and obtain a license. Finally, you must also obtain a surety bond or trust fund agreement. The length of time it takes to become a freight broker depends on the individual. Some people may be able to complete the necessary training and pass the exam once you have obtained your license. you can begin working as a freight broker. Skills required for a freight broker career. Some skills that are required for a freight broker career include strong communication skills, excellent negotiation skills, good organizational skills, detail-oriented, familiarity with the transportation industry. The job duties of a freight broker vary but typically involve finding loads and negotiating rates with carriers. In addition, brokers must track shipments, resolve issues that arise during transport, and keep clients updated on the status of their shipments. Brokers also need to maintain accurate records and comply with all regulations, since brokers will need to track shipments to ensure that the delivery of goods is on time. Trucking companies use many different tracking systems. However, there are two that we personally believe stand out from the rest. Affiliate disclaimer. Freight Chain is supported by our readers. When you purchase through links on our site, we may earn an affiliate commission that helps support our website and all of its content. Thank you. Learn more. The tracking and ELD providers that we recommend are: Keep Truckin' is a popular ELD provider with many features to offer your drivers. You can use GPS tracking, monitor their service hours, and get inspections reports done all through this app, with such great customer care as well. You'll be sure not to regret choosing to keep trucks for yourself today. Check out Keep Truckin' today. If you are looking for an ELD that will keep your company in the green, then look no further than Samsara, with its user-friendly interface and affordable price tag. This is one fleet management solution not to be missed. Check out Samsara today. To learn more about ELDs and tracking, check out our previous post. Freight brokers typically work long hours, including nights and weekends. In addition, brokers must be available 24/7 in case of emergencies. However, the job does offer some flexibility in terms of hours and the ability to work from home. Freight brokers typically earn a commission on each load they ship, which can range from 5–20%. In addition, brokers may receive bonuses or other incentives from carriers. There are no specific education requirements for becoming a freight broker. However, most brokers have at least a high school diploma. In addition, it is important to have strong communication and negotiation skills. Some brokers may also choose to get training from an accredited program. Brokers must be licensed by the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration. To become licensed, brokers must pass an exam and undergo training. In addition, brokers must have a surety bond or trust fund agreement in place. Freight brokers must comply with all regulations set by the FMCSA. These regulations include maintaining accurate records, having a valid surety bond or trust fund agreement, and being registered with the FMCSA. To become a freight broker, you will need to have a strong understanding of the transportation industry and excellent communication and negotiation skills. Finally, it is important to be organized and detail-oriented in order to succeed in this career. In addition, you will need to get training from an accredited program and pass the federal exam for freight brokers. Once you have met all of these requirements, you can then apply for a broker authority and start finding loads and shipping freight. Final thoughts. Being a freight broker is not as cut and dry as one might think. There are many factors that can affect how much a freight broker makes. These include the number of loads shipped, the type of commodities shipped, the size of the company, and the location. In addition, brokers may also receive bonuses or other incentives from carriers. Becoming a freight broker may seem like a daunting task, but it's really not as difficult as you might think. With the right training and hard work, you could become a successful freight broker in no time. So, what do you think? Will you become a freight broker? Let us know in the comments below. Disclaimer: Freight Chain provides educational content only. It should not be taken as professional advice.